Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Making it to Wednesday is a win in itself, and Dunkin' thinks you deserve a reward. That's why every Wednesday, now through December, Dunkin' Rewards members get a free donut with drink purchase. So whether you like your midweek pick-me-ups oozing with chocolate or filled with jelly, it's on us, because you deserve it. Save time and order ahead on the app with Dunkin' Rewards. Not a member? Join today. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit one classic donut per member per Wednesday. Terms and exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Offer ends 12/27/2023.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
We all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once, and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Gen Exhausted. I'm Chris.
Rich.
I'm Jess.
Oh man, I had a weekend. It's November and there was like local elections and shit, and the government's going to shut down again, and I guess inflation's coming down allegedly. I don't know. Blah blah blah. We could do all that, but I fucking saw Metallica for the first time ever. It took me 30 years to finally get the stick out of my ass and finally just go see Metallica. And holy shit, I'm in. Like if I'm asked to go see Metallica again, I will. Like I've witnessed quite a spectacle over 2 days this weekend. Drank a lot of bourbon.
Was the Metallica concert 2 days?
Yes, it was. It's for they've been doing it for the whole year. They're doing 2 nights and 2 different sets each night, no repeats. And Detroit was their last stop for the 2023 portion of the tour.
Damn.
So, Friday night, Friday night was disappointing until Metallica, because first you get to see Mammoth WVH, which, if you don't know, it's Eddie Van Halen's kids' band. Rich, have you heard any of this music?
I heard one song on the radio, and it was just like, oh, okay, that sounds like something you'd hear on the radio in the background and not pay attention to.
Exactly. I think that it sucks that the music industry is in the state that it is, that the progeny, or however the fuck you're supposed to say it, of Eddie Van Halen has to make that stuff. I was just sitting there watching it like, really? This is what the kid of Eddie Van Halen has to play if he wants to, like, have his job being in the music industry? That just kind of bummed me out, because I know you've seen it, like the Taylor Hawkins concert. He could play like his dad, like note for note. That is in him. He can do it, and he's got to play this bullshit middle of the road. Hey, whatever's left of radio, could you please give me some spins?
He's put his fucking God. I kind of feel sorry for the kid, and here's why: because every interview I've seen, especially leading up to, but really after his dad's death, he seems like a kid who is like torn between 2 generations, his own and his father's. Like, he has immense respect for his father's generation, the music that came out around that time, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, he thinks Billie Eilish is like genius.
We'll get to her later.
And I'm just like, I mean, I guess I understand I understand having like your loyalty divided, I guess, for lack of a better term. I mean, that's too dramatic of a term. But if you talk to musicians, these are the terms they use when they talk about shit like this. But I don't know. In that aspect, I feel sorry for him because it's like, what do you do, dude? What do you do? I think you and I, we were kind of like that, but we were also lucky because at the time, the shit we were listening to was guys who were like a twat hair older than us, who were inspired and influenced by the same shit for the most part we were. So even though it was like you looked up to Alice in Chains, they were only like 5 years older than you, dude. Well, maybe like 5'10". You get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, still within the same generation. Like they could be your oldest brothers or sisters, like friends, and it's like
definitely had cousins their age, yeah.
Yeah, but like deep down, like, come here, little shit. Here, you can have some beer. I'm gonna teach you about music. And believe me, that shit happens. How the fuck you think I turn out the way people like me turn out the way I do? So yeah, I think kids and musicians like him are probably rare or very not vocal these days. I think most musicians who stand out are musicians who either embrace tradition or reject it completely. And I think he's trying to play the middle of the road, and it's a safe move, but faith never won any races, dude.
I just want to be like, dude, rip it. Your last name is Van Halen. Start rocking now.
Well, I mean, like he started getting like after his dad died, he started getting like shit about referencing Van Halen in anything to do with himself. And he goes, it's my fucking name. He's like, can I not use my own fucking name?
Yeah.
He's like, everybody knew my fucking name before I was even conscious of the world I was in. Because my dad named his Wolfgang guitar after me. Yeah. And every guitar nerd knew that shit.
Well, believe me, the name Van Halen wasn't a stage name. It was actually his last name.
Yes, absolutely. Like he's like, so it's like, yeah, can I use my? And it's like, yeah, dude, I get it. So he's already had that under the microscope. Then he took over from Michael Anthony, who was the secret weapon in Van Halen. No fucking great shakes whatsoever on a bass, but could harmonize and sing. He was the backing vocals for Van Halen.
Yes.
Like Eddie had his hand in there, but it was mostly Michael Anthony. So there you go. That's why do you think like him and fucking Sammy Hagar are still rolling around together? Because they had no beef, and Sammy Hagar was like, this motherfucker is the background vocals for my biggest songs with Van Halen.
Yeah.
So if I'm singing it and he's doing the background vocals, all due respect to Eddie and Alex, we don't need you.
They're about to
Not
go
for that
on,
aspect.
They're about to go on like a Van Halen tribute tour or some shit. Just read about it the other day. But
and I mean, this is music nerd shit. So sorry, Jess. Sorry, listeners, who don't care about this. But Sammy Hagar did have a rocky. Okay, hold on a sec. Eddie Van Halen had a rocky relationship with everybody.
It's true.
Let's just be honest here. Okay?
I'm starting to think Eddie was
Sammy
kind of
Hagar,
a dick.
Yeah, like if Eddie had a problem with everybody, and everybody had a problem with Eddie, or not everybody had a problem with Eddie, then it's like, yeah, Eddie's kind of the problem. That's my guess. But whatever. But they were not, I guess, on the best of terms when he died. I don't know if they spoke before he died or whatever. But Sammy Hagar come out and he's like, I think it's completely disrespectful. There's been no type of tribute, no nothing. He goes, arguably the most important guitar player, the Michael Jackson of guitar playing.
Yes. Now, when you talk about the guys that we looked up to, like I remember when reading in Guitar World, there was two guys, all these guys brought up. It was Eddie Van Halen and Ace Frehley.
Yep.
Like Eddie Van Halen like sold guitars. Like people had like, I don't even know how to describe what he did to guitar playing. Like he revolutionized it. Like
when people talk about guitar players, and we said this on the Rolling Stone episode where we talked about that guitar players list, and they go, yeah, this is before Van Halen and after Van Halen, before Hendrix, after Hendrix. There's a handful of guitar players you can say that about. and he's in the top 3. So once again, non-musicians, you have to understand that's not even. I don't really care for Van Halen's music for the most part, but I can't argue with his importance. I can't argue with his influence. I can't argue with the fucking footprint he left.
We'll put it in the parlance of the youth. He changed the game.
When he showed up, it was dead ass like Tay-Tay hooking up with that homeboy who plays football. For real on God.
For real. So yeah, that's my thoughts on watching Wolfie. I was like, man, you're better than this. But anyway, on to Pantera. Rich, it's exactly what we said it was going to be. It should have been called Zakk Wylde's tribute to Pantera. Where to begin? Low energy Pantera. It was dude. If you've seen Pantera fans, if you've seen them live, you know Dime was a force of nature, and it was so evident seeing Pantera trying to do these songs without Dime and Vinny. Like, they opened with a New Level, Rich, and they lost me right at the solo palm, right at the beginning. Right when the band drops out, right at the run. Fucking sloppy as shit, and him doing his stupid fucking pinch harmonics, and it's like, oh, here we go. And then they never seemed to lock in. Like, they never caught a groove. It was very evident Rex was missing his drummer. Like, the only songs they seemed to ever catch a groove on was anything off Far Beyond Driven. After that, put this way, I listened to Pantera the next day, and it bummed me out. I mean, I got over it, but like, just the fact that it was disappointing. I mean, Phil was fine. They played all the hits. I mean, Phil now looks like a dude you'd see at like Walmart in Roseville. But I mean, like,
yeah. Like all the pictures of Phil, it's like, boy, I hope his voice is held up, because he's just like walking around. He looks like he's shuffling around barefoot on stage, like going, I don't jump around anymore because I got a bad back. I heard it moving a fridge a few years ago, and it ain't been the same since. Like, he looks like that dude now. So from the pictures I saw, yeah, he did just kind of,
he definitely didn't run around like he did when I've seen him before. But I mean, it was disappointing. It was just the energy wasn't there. Yeah, they were playing Pantera songs. Phil was fine. You got all the hits, but it was just, it's what I thought it was going to be when I heard they were going to do it. Like, there's apparently going to be a North American tour, and no interest in it. Like, if you've seen the original Pantera, it just didn't hit like seeing those 4 guys. Like, my one buddy, we were in agreement. I would have rather them like went and found some like kid off of YouTube who's been like woodshedding Pantera tunes and can play them like, use another youth term here, dead ass, just playing it like right, just like Dimebag. I'd rather them went out and found like a nobody to do that than what I saw.
Here's what I think is severely missing with Dime and Vinny being gone. You're not just missing a guitar player and a drummer. You're missing brothers who grew up jamming and playing off each other and playing together. So that means that Vinny is a drummer who grew up following a guitar player, which means Rex is a fucking bass player who was in a band with a drummer who was following a guitar player. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't get the feeling that what is it, Charlie
Benante
from Anthrax? Yeah. First of all, from what I understand, he's a converted drummer. He was originally a guitar player. Like, he switched to drums because they couldn't find a drummer or something along those lines. One of those type stories. So it's like, dude, like, I get it, but you ain't Vinny, bro. Like, you're just not. There's certain drummers. It's like, there's certain drummers who can do an impersonation of John Bonham. And if you want someone to play like John Bonham, you probably give one of them a call. But you don't call fucking Meg White from the White Stripes and go, we want you to play just like John Bonham. And then just be like, okay, that's good enough, when she just gets up there with her stylings. We'll say that, drum stylings.
Yeah, he seemed very I mean, my one buddy said, he's like, it's pretty obvious he's up there playing with a click. He's like Vinny didn't play with clay. And the other thing too, another thing that it became very obvious through that show, that Zakk Wylde has been playing lead for 30 years, not rhythm. Because there were just some parts where it was just fucking sloppy, and it was like, nope, dime would have stopped on a dime. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of that rhythm shit, especially off of Vulgar Display.
That's what kills me. If you're a Zakk Wylde fan, you've never seen this. Not the Black Label Society acoustic guitar version. Go find the one from like 1993 of him in the MTV studios. He's wearing a New York Yankees shirt, and it's just him and an acoustic guitar. And you'll understand, it's like, holy shit, Zakk Wylde could play like that, and it has really nothing to do with lead. It's just all rhythm and just fucking, oh my God, insane. And like you said, it's clear that he's been playing just leads now. He's in the B.B. King part of his career where he's like, I pay other people around me to play chords.
Yeah, he
can't really do that with Pantera, which is a 4-piece.
I guess my review on the whole Pantera show is you can't go home again, especially if half the band is fucking dead. This isn't like, oh, we're all mad at each other. This isn't like, well, I guess Eddie's dead, but this isn't like Van Halen was, where they're all still alive but mad at each other. So portions of the band would play. No, this is half of them are dead, and I can't even say A for effort. It was a big letdown. But on to Metallica. Holy shit. The fact that these guys are pushing 60, like, a little background on me, as far as my metal chops, like, I played my guitar, I played rock, I played metal, I played jazz, I played funk, I played show tunes, I played a ton of shit. But when I first got a guitar, and I cut my metal chops on Metallica, and I was definitely one of those people, when Load came out in 95, I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like 16, I'm within 5 years of having discovered Metallica. I mean, I guess a lot of the real hardcore people did that when the Black Album came out, but not me, because, one of the first Metallica songs I heard when I was like 12 was like Enter Sandman, and then I just worked my way backwards. Remember finding out about my buddy showed me the album Master of Puppets, and I remember being mad at him, like, why didn't you show me this album sooner? Like, I cut my chops on all of this stuff. And especially, too, I went with my buddy who I've known, like, since we were 11. We bought our guitars, like, the same week, and his brother. We were all in the metal band together for, like, 10 years. And even before that, we all cut our chops, like, as teenagers, like, in his basement, playing songs like Seek and Destroy, stuff like. So for me, this was a big deal. Finally, by my early 40s, I'm like, all right. But, last year, my friend's like, you want to go? I was like, you know what? They're still all alive. They still all like each other. They haven't started declining yet. Sure, why the fuck not? Fine, Uncle.
And Rob's been in the band for 20 years at this point. So he's been in longer than Cliff and Jason put together.
Yeah, so fine. I'm like, fine, Uncle, fine. I'll go see Metallica. The new albums come out. It's spotty. Like, it seems like every other song I've heard I like. It's like, all right, fine. So, I mean, they just came fucking shot out of a cannon with Creeping Death. I'm like, all right. But it was, dude, it was amazing. Like, between the two nights, you heard all but 2 tracks of Ride the Lightning. You heard half a Master of Puppets. They opened the second night with fucking Whiplash. Like, it was, dude, like,
yeah, here's the first night's set list. Creeping Death, Harvester of Sorrow, Through the Never. Probably the most old, quote-unquote, Metallica song on the Black Album.
Yeah.
Leper Messiah.
Yeah, which me and my friends, what? Playing like that, to me, that was like the deep pull of the night.
Lux Eternia.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Too Far Gone.
New one.
Fade to Black.
Yep.
Shadows Follow.
Yeah, another. I think the newer era.
That's that Death Magnetic or newer.
Yeah,
that's what I consider newer Metallica. That's going back 15 years now. Jesus.
Right, yeah.
Nothing Else Matters. Sad but True. The Day That Never Comes. Hardwired came out the first year we were doing the podcast. Yep. Fuel, Seek and Destroy. Master of Puppets.
Yes, and all of Master of Puppets, not that abbreviated version. They played the whole fucking thing.
And they did Orion with the bass solo and the harmonized guitar.
Yep, they did.
Okay.
Dude, that's the one clip I put on Facebook was them doing that fucking jam in the middle of Orion with the fucking two guitars playing. Like that, yeah. And then, second night, it'd go to the second night set list.
Okay, so starts with, as you were saying, Whiplash, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Ride the Lightning, Dirty Window, 72 Seasons, If Darkness Had a Sun.
Gotta go to the can.
Welcome Home Sanitarium, You Must Burn. But this one's kind of shocking. Call of Cthulhu.
Dude, yeah. We were... By then I was nice and drunk.
Call of Cthulhu.
By then I was nice and drunk, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Moth in the Flame, Fight Fire with Fire, which is, I don't feel like I've really heard them play that live a whole lot.
No, that's another one that I was like, "Holy shit!" To me, I think that was the deep pull of the night. On that and Cthulhu.
Now this. I truly think they only played this because they were in Detroit, Whiskey in a Jar.
Yeah, but it's a radio hit for it's a dude. When I was in radio, dude, that song was on like every hour on the fucking hour. Like that was a big one for me.
Okay, fair enough.
That one got him a lot of radio play.
I'm gonna say like at the riff, I know why I got him radio play because the relationship with Mickey Redman's relationship with that song. So,
see, I was hoping. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, just the last two are One and Enter Sandman.
Yeah. Which still, even, it's the radio, who cares? It was still great live. Like, especially two, because they did the light show and the pyrotechnics. And by the way, I've not been to a stadium concert in a while. Stadium concert sound has come a long fucking way.
Dude, sound at Smalls, which is like a 300-seat venue here in Detroit, well, Hamtramck. And like St. Andrews Hall, I am shocked. I'm like, wow, when did sound get this good? To where like these small venues have this good a sound. To the point where I haven't been to the last big show I went to was in 2015. I saw the Korn 20th anniversary for their first album, and literally was like sat through Suicide Silence, which if you haven't listened to, go ahead and listen to them. You deserve it. You deserve that to do that to yourself. And then they opened with Blind, and I was like, okay, I can leave now. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Korn's kind of like, anyways, Korn's not one of those bands that I'm going to sit through and be like, oh, yeah, because I'm going to hope that half the set's going to be something I'm into. Like, no, it's not going to be. It's going to be one or two songs. So don't open with the one I'm like, okay, that's the one I actually wanted to see him play live.
Yeah.
But no, these sets are. The one thing that shocked me is they're kind of heavy on the new stuff, but I get it, and they did, for the most part, pack it all together so people can go get their fucking refills and drain their fucking lizards and all that shit. And they did it on both nights for the most part.
And we did.
But I had heard that, like, they were going to play Escape, which I don't know if this is just, like, urban legend and Metallica lore, or if this is the reality of what happened, but that song, Escape, off of Ride the Lightning, is... Supposedly, Metallica turned in their album without that song, and the record label was like, no, that's fine, but we need something that has a chance of getting radio play. Give us that, or we're going to have an issue. And so basically, at gunpoint, they were told, go write something that has mass appeal, and that's where this song Escape comes from. That's why they hate that song. I don't know if that's an actual story, or a factual story, or if that's just bullshit. Have you ever heard that story, Chris?
I have not, but ironically, it's never a single.
Yeah.
Like
they've never, I don't think they've ever really played it live except a handful of times. And that's saying a lot about Metallica.
I do want to say they played a song from Saint Anger on Sunday. And before he introduces it, he goes, this one's from your favorite album. And he does like, the wink and, played whatever. Again, went to the can. But the next day I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. So, we hate it. It's well documented that you hate that album. Why don't you fucking just play another song off Master of Puppets or something? Like, that's a move I didn't understand. You know the fans hate it. The fans know you hate it. Why'd you even bother?
I don't know. And I don't know which one that would have been. Here's Sunday is trying to see which one it would be.
It was early.
Dirty Window? Because 72 Seasons is off the new album. If Darkness Had a Sun?
No, that's new album.
Sanitarium, You Must Burn?
No, Dirty Window. I'm looking at the Saint Anger track list. Turd album. Which, by the way, I listened to a song from it came up in my mix the other day, and I just always thought it was the internet being the internet, but that snare really does sound like a fucking garbage can. It really does sound like he's beating on a garbage can lid.
I swear to Christ, this is my theory on why that album sounds like it did. Lars was trying to ride too many coattails of too many fucking trends in metal at the same time. And he was also trying to ride the coattails of one trend that had pretty much burned out. First one being black metal. And black metal's lower, like the second wave of black metal that started in like the late 80s, early 90s that people think of with Mayhem and Burzum. Like all those bands that like were burning churches and killing each other and shit like that. That's a podcast all into itself. Go look up the history of that if you really want to. What happens when you leave white people alone? You get Lord of the Flies and black metal. That's what happens when you leave white people to themselves. I'm just saying. Maybe there's something, too. We need a little bit of color in our lives. I'm just saying. But you got to remember, Metallica came up via the tape trading shit, and black metal, even well into the 90s. Because of its lo-fi, keeping it true cult status with the second wave black metal, the true black metal people, they were passing around tapes. So and this was all happening in what is regionally, arguably an area of the world where Lars still had ties to because he's from that. His family's from that area. He's from that area. Then there was the obvious ones they were trying to ride the coattails of, which was the new metal ones, which if you watch Some Kind of Monster, you actually hear Kurt call him out for it because he's like, I don't want to not. Why are we not putting solos on the album? Because everyone else isn't doing it? That's fine. That's going to sound good for what? A year? 2? 20 years? It's going to be like, oh, there's that dated-ass album that they did with no solos on there. That's how you know when it's not a Metallica album. It's Metallica trying to be something. And I'm like, damn. Go ahead, Kurt.
Good news, Kurt. It's the album everybody hates 20 years later.
But he had a point. He had a very valid point. He's like, we're not being ourselves. We're trying to be something else.
Which, by the way, that man live, holy shit, is just something to behold. He was just out. Maybe because it was the last night of the tour, like those fuckers were just on. Like as a band, like those guys were on. Like it was definitely
Sunday was the night.
Like both nights, they were just like just fucking. Hetfield was Hetfield, like just doing his rhythm thing. Like Hammett was Hammett. Lars even was passable. Like no, Lars was good, and just it was. Dude, it was fucking amazing. Like, it's definitely up there with one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Even my friend who's been, his hobby, you ever had that friend who just, back when we were younger, who just went to concerts? Like, this was that friend. And he said, he's like, he called it a top fiver. And he's seen Metallica a few times. And it was, and God damn it was, all my friends for years have been saying, hey, dummy, they're going to play all the songs you like. Just go see them. I'm like, no, man, fuck them. Because they cut their hair in 1995. They also put out a terrible album, too. Even they, though, have come back and said, yeah, those 2 albums could have been just one good album.
Dude, they went from the best thrash band on the planet who is just starting to maybe put some fucking feelers out towards the mainstream via And Justice for All. And I feel like if they could have stayed that course, they would have crossed over anyways. But instead they went from, let's be the best thrash band on the planet to a really good hard rock band. And that was the transformation between the Black Album and then Load and Reload. You see the beginning of it with the Black Album. And by Load and Reload, they have almost completely left their thrash roots behind. And they are just they sound like a really good 90s hard rock band. but they're not trailblazers. They're not one of the big four of any genre they're playing, or the genre they're playing in at that moment. Not even close.
Well, I don't know.
So, I mean,
if you've heard Death Magnetic, right?
Yeah.
That's when they were, oh, hey, we're Metallica. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
that was 2009, 2008.
Yeah. I feel like since then they've righted the shit. And like I said, the new album, it doesn't sound like any of that old crap. It's just, some of it's just But no, I mean, the new album, the fucking
72 Seasons, if that was the first single, that one was all right.
No, the first single was Lux Eterna.
Okay, then I don't know which one. Whichever one. I don't know. One of them I was like, this isn't bad. I actually listened to it on the radio. And I've only heard it twice on the radio. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably Lux Eterna. Because I heard Lux Eterna, and it gave me it's shades of Kill 'Em All.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like, okay, this is all right. I won't turn this off. But then I know people who are like, and these are not youngins. These are not people in their 20s. These are not teenagers. These are people in their late 30s and 40s, up to my age, so they're old, who are like, man, I just want another I Disappear. And I'm like, what?
What?
I want another No Leaf Clover. Who the fuck sits around fucking opining about that era of Metallica?
See, now, oh, God, whatever. I know the mic's on. I'm about to say this. I was hoping maybe we would get that because we were in Ford Field and the Lions won. But that's just me because DC quoted that on Hard Knocks.
Which one did he quote?
He quoted No Leaf Clover on Hard Knocks.
Oh, okay.
When he was,
I think No Leaf Clover without the fucking orchestra, because that's what it's known for. It's like anytime there's an orchestra near Metallica, and Metallica's like, we're going to play, they pull that song out. They pretty much leave it in the closet until the orchestra. It's like the old Reese's peanut butter commercials. Guys walking in trips.
I feel they could have got away with it because they were doing like the beginning of Orion. Like they didn't play it. Like it came over the speakers, and then they, started playing when, the guitars came in. So, I mean, I feel they could have, they could have piped in the orchestra for the intro, and then, they could have came in, and I don't know. But, that was just me also, hey, the Lions won, because it was a good thing the opening bands were playing while the fucking shootout was going on Sunday. That's all I got to say.
All right. So, now here's a question, because you shit all over Lars a few weeks ago when we were talking about the Rolling Stone article. How does Lars' drumming sound on the old stuff now compared to how he sounded on the records, where you're like, oh, you could just constantly hear him missing hits and flubbing fucking rolls and being off time and all this other shit?
Well, I gotta give the man credit. He's been playing drums for 40 years. But also I also know now, there could be behind the scenes, trickery to make sure that he sounds good.
Well, see, the thing that left me scratching. The thing that left me scratching my head was the missed hits. How do you know it's a missed hit? He didn't mean to put maybe he didn't mean to put a hit there in a roll, and it's because he's got a weird timing thing in his head.
Classic
which I
example.
think a lot of drummers have bit off of him since he's fucking his heyday with the first 4 Metallica albums.
A classic example is on Kill 'Em All, the triplets on the bass on 4 Horsemen. How they're some of them are triplets.
Okay, I get what you're saying there. Okay.
I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at, the sloppiness. But no,
but I mean, that's first. There's a lot of moments on that first album, Metallica, by today's standards. Back then, not that bad. I mean, I'm just saying, there's some off fucking key vibrato and bends on Kurt's end on Kill 'Em All.
And then some of the snare hits on Justice aren't that. Some of the flams aren't that great.
I'd have to actually go.
I'm trying to think of one that always stands out to me is the Independence, whatever song that is. What song is that?
Freedom of choice is isn't it? No, justice is lost. Justice,
Eye of the Beholder. Eye of the Beholder.
Beholder, yes, okay. Trying to remember an album I haven't listened to all the way through, and God, it's got to be at least a decade, probably 2. Just sit down and listen to it. It's got to be almost 2 decades.
There's a snare. It's he tries to do something fancy and he misses it, and I've always thought that's the best take, but that's also when they did it live. So at least give the man credit there. But fucking no issue with the man's performance over the weekend at all. And and then Five Finger Death Punch and Ice Nine Kills, and
Okay. This is Jess.
Yes.
Five Finger Death Punch.
Yes.
Into them, not aware of them, not aware of them.
No, I know who they are. I've seen them. They're okay. They open for
Did you see
someone.
Five Finger? Why were you anywhere in the vicinity of Five Finger Death Punch playing?
They were opening for somebody.
Well, it must have been a good show. Five Finger Death Punch. We were opening for
They were
somebody.
opening. It was Five Finger Death Punch, Bad Wolves, and I forget who the other one is.
Now I know why you can't remember who the fuck they were. They're all the same thing.
Yes, it was.
It'd be like the 2010s going to see 3 Days Grace. Name some of those fucking bands from like the 2000s and 2010s. Like they had the three fucking. I was in one. Jesus God, for like a split second. 6 months gone. Ugh. I was like, dude, really? You're gonna name the fucking band that? You're gonna go with the 3-word band name that everyone's doing?
So like My Darkest Days, 1,000-Foot Krutch.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Yeah.
Still, I'm trying to look.
Theory of a Dead Man.
Theory of yes.
Shine. Well, but Shine Down type music, like that type of stuff, but like taken to the next level because Five Finger Death Punch is a little bit heavier.
Shinedown's
There's a guy
like
on
listenable, at least.
Shinedown is definitely like safest middle of the road rock, and it's like I get it. There's a market for it, and it's the most accessible version of rock. You put it out, and the most casual music fan will be like, "Ooh, this fucking plays 3 notes from the major scale over and over, so it gets stuck in my head." So I think it's a good song.
Hey, their singer can
And it's
wail.
like that's, and I'm just like, yeah, that's. And guess what else does that? Every fucking lullaby in the history of ever. So
It was 3 Days Grace. Just I looked it up. That's who the other band was.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
Five Finger Death Punch to me, that minus Bad Company, to me they played the same song 10 times. To me, every song they've put out to me sounds the fucking same.
all they do is put out covers now. I don't know any of their original shit. I know their cover of Blue on Black. I know their cover of Bad Company. I know their cover of House of the Rising Sun. I know their cover of oh shit. No, maybe that's Disturbed. That does Land of Confusion.
Yeah. And Bad Wolves does Zombie. Although Bad Wolves is doing their best Five Finger Death Punch impression doing that song.
And I mean, like, oh god, I can't get with the guy's voice, man.
I can't either.
Something about his voice annoys me. It's like the dude from oh shit,
Nothing.
who's that fucking band? Oh fucking, it's gonna drive me nuts now.
What are they saying?
Volbeat.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my God,
singer.
thank you. Someone who you're like the only other person who agrees with me.
No.
Every time I bring that up, people
Dude.
are like, "What are you talking about?"
Dude, we're like people who still smoke like traditional tobacco cigarettes. We're still out there. We're
Oh, where'd he go?
I don't know. I was.
Hello?
He didn't show-
There you are.
Oh, there he is.
okay. That's the internet. That's what that is. So
Volbeat
it must have been a dip
doesn't-
in the internet because I heard you guys come through the entire thing, and then all of a sudden I heard, "Oh, where did he go?"
Your FBI agent's a Volbeat fan, apparently.
And the Volbeat Army's keeping you down.
But yeah, like it'll happen. Like I'll talk to someone and they'll go, "So what are you into?" And I'm like, "It's just be easier to tell you what I'm not into." Like, what are you not into? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get very specific. I'm not into most fucking opera. And they're like, whoa, where the fuck are we gonna listen to opera? You asked, motherfucker. Anyways, like bands, I'm like, I can't stand Volbeat. And 9 times out of 10, it's what? Dude, you're like Metallica. I'm like, they're nothing like Metallica. Just because the fucking rhythm guitar player plays triplets. That does not make them like Metallica. Okay?
Oh.
But every once in a while, they'll be like, oh, you too? And I'm like, oh, my people. Why do you hate the voice? And it's at the same time almost I swear to you, it's like a scene out of a movie. And I'm like, are my people. Like, we found each other. So yes, Chris, we are out there. You just have to look.
Every time I tell people like Five Finger Death Punch, Volbeat, same band to me, they're like, "What? What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I studied music in college. I guess that's what's wrong with me.
Volbeat has one song, right?
No.
And I'm not just being funny. It's just I know I've only ever heard the one song.
No, they got a ton of hits.
Do they?
Yup.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm disappointed too.
would have never known.
Yeah, but what's funny
And
to
your
me,
life would have been better for not knowing that. So we've brought a little darkness into your life. And for that, if there is a God when we die, we will answer for our sin.
what's funny to me is Five Finger Death Punch. The guy just in the middle of the guy's stage rant, the crowd just starts cheering, and I think he thought he said something cool or witty or something. It was the fucking Lions game ended, and we all realized it at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I don't know if you paid any attention to that game.
I did not.
It was a fucking shootout.
Okay, just saying, played enough local gigs and played enough fucking every night of the week for long enough to be like, you got to really have someone, if they're going to be on the mic, especially in local bars, you better have someone who knows who's on the mic, who knows what they're looking at as far as sports go. Because what you just said, if that happened, that's happened so many times. And dude, every band looks like a douchebag when they're, thank you for the applause. And everyone's like, fucking Red Wings just scored, you stupid ass.
Oh, what's funny is after the next song, he does go, hey, I got a question. Why aren't you watching the game? And my drunk ass shouts, because it fucking ended before you began this song, dipshit. Well, to his credit, he did come out in a Lions jersey. I think he came out in a Khalif Raymond jersey, which, nice random jersey. We came out in our number 4 receivers jersey. All right.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Making it to Wednesday is a win in itself, and Dunkin' thinks you deserve a reward. That's why every Wednesday, now through December, Dunkin' Rewards members get a free donut with drink purchase. So whether you like your midweek pick-me-ups oozing with chocolate or filled with jelly, it's on us, because you deserve it. Save time and order ahead on the app with Dunkin' Rewards. Not a member? Join today. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 classic donut per member per Wednesday. Terms and exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Offer ends 12/27/2023.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
We all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once, and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Making it to Wednesday is a win in itself, and Dunkin' thinks you deserve a reward. That's why every Wednesday, now through December, Dunkin' Rewards members get a free donut with drink purchase. So whether you like your midweek pick-me-ups oozing with chocolate or filled with jelly, it's on us, because you deserve it. Save time and order ahead on the app with Dunkin' Rewards. Not a member? Join today. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 classic donut per member per Wednesday. Terms and exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Offer ends 12/27/2023.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at Bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at Bartesian.com/cocktail.
We all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once, and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Now, Ice Nine Kills, I have no idea who the fuck that is. I know the name, but that's it.
Here's what I can tell you about that. I can give you their stage banter. Hello, Detroit. Good night, Detroit. It was one of those bands where there was a fucking video on screen and then a bunch of bullshit playing before they started their songs. And they were all wearing suspenders and fucking bow ties. And like Jess would have loved it, pretty much.
I was about to say I see them pop up on my Spotify playlist all the time, but I can't isolate any of their songs.
Like
What?
Yeah, like definitely, like if you look at the two nights, night one was for the old people, night two was for the young people, as far as the openers went. Like it was definitely some shit. Like I called it Sonic Bukkake because there was just so much shit going on too. You couldn't fucking understand it between how they screamed and everything they were playing and all the extra bullshit playing while they were playing. It was like, it's just, I don't know if you know what the word cacophony means, but that band set is fucking definition of it.
That is so, dude. Wow. You are, okay. I just sampled them real quick and I'm like, I don't hear, I mean, it ain't good. But like, dude, you're putting, it's just music that you don't like. I mean, that's not even fucking dissident. There's no dissidence there. It's not bordering on like a noise genre. The singer isn't going for an extreme metal delivery, whether it be a black metal high head voice or a guttural fucking death metal growl. It's not fucking littered with samples. I mean, that is so fucking vanilla. It's wearing Uggs and it's holding a Starbucks, bro. I like that is just garbage. That is just so inoffensive gruel. It's not even interesting enough to hate. It's just it just exists. I mean, and what kills me is you're like, this is so horrible. It's a cacophony. I'm like, bro, now you're just showing your age, because that's not even. I can tell it. I could play you music that you'd be like, now that's a cacophony of noise. But if you sat down as a musician and gave it a shot, you'd be like, oh, I'm starting to see what Rich is talking about. There's a fuck ton of polyrhythms going on in here, and blah, 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 blah. And especially if I start breaking down how a lot of these guys assembled this music.
Oh, I've heard things like attack. I know.
No, that's garbage, but I'm talking about like shit that I'm talking about like when you get into bands that are described as the Aphex Twin of black metal. Okay? That's what I'm talking about.
Wow. Sounds aggressive.
And it's really, and their last two albums, they took a hard turn from almost like an EDM black metal with Middle Eastern and blues samples and influences thrown in to a jazz Tom Waits, Tommy the Cat with Les Claypool type delivery for the singer, and almost like a lounge act from outer space type sound. Dude, the band's called Mama Leak. You're on your own. I'm not telling you they're going to be good. I'm not telling you they're going to be bad. If you want to listen to something interesting, Mama Leak, newest album's called Diner Coffee. That's the one I'm talking about, where it's like you can really hear the Tom Waits influence. Yeah. Like that's the type of shit that you're describing. I'm expecting that type of stuff, and I'm like, this is just radio bullshit that he's just cacophony. This is just garbage. This is white noise.
No, I mean, dude, the stuff I saw on stage.
I didn't mean to go music snob for real on the podcast.
I'm just saying. I'm just describing what I saw. Like just loud guitars, a lot of double bass, a lot of screaming, a lot of fucking synth lines and fucking samples while they were like. Oh, maybe you picked like a tame thing, but yeah, it was definitely, I was thinking like, yeah, someone like 10 to 15 years younger than me would fucking love this shit.
Pull up, well, I'm looking at an Ice Nine Kills song from 2 years ago called Funeral Derangements. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at as far as, and that's from their channel. So I'm not saying it is from 2 years ago, but it looks fairly recent.
They have a song called Meet and Greet where the meat is spelled MEAT.
Okay, what I was going to say is pull up
Hip to Be
Suicide
Scared.
Silence. Pull up any Suicide Silence. Play that, and that's what I think of when you described what you just described.
All right.
Yeah, the first one that comes up on YouTube is one called You Only Live Once. It's their official video. You can just pick any moment past 51 seconds, pretty much. Remember, we can't hear it, so.
No, it wasn't this heavy.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought maybe you were talking about. That's who opened
I
up
wish it would have been
when
this.
I went to go see
I wish it
them.
would have been like this.
They held my attention when I went to go see them. I was main floor at State Theater, and they're playing, and I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty fucking heavy. And the main floor was nuts, but nowhere near as nuts as Pantera in upstate New York when I saw them. That's the big show I went to that was the most violent pit I've ever seen. The most violent pit I've ever seen, period, was locally here at the Wired Frog.
I guess more. I get yeah. It's, with Ice Nine Kills, it was more. It reminded me of like emo and screamo than metal. I guess if I want to perhaps amend my review of it, it wasn't. I wasn't getting a metal vibe. I was getting this would go great with My Chemical Romance reunion tour.
You're just selling them more and more for me. The more
Jess has got like their entire back catalog ordered now. She's like, shit, I know what I'm listening to all day tomorrow.
Like I said, they keep popping up on like my suggested playlist, but I typically
Ooh, Jess, they have a song with Jacoby Shaddix. So there you go.
Wasn't he and
Papa Roach?
Roach? Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a big Papa Roach fan.
How do you have a little bit of taste all of a sudden?
I'm selective with my bad music.
See, here's the thing, folks. I would apologize to Jess for the music nerd shit starting off this podcast, but she would be happy to join in. It's just we don't listen to the garbage she listens to.
Hey.
You really can't join in when we talk about like any music deeper than like what you saw on the Warped Tour when the Warped Tour was like, you still go to Warped Tour?
No,
when the Warped Tour was like that, that's her shit. That's the shit that brings tears to her eyes. So
first of all, rude. Second of all, it's more the When We Were Young tour. That's more my whole thing.
It's a tour cashing in on the memories of people who were going to the late stages, the death throes of the Warped Tour.
No, that was the good stages of the Warped Tour.
No, it wasn't.
This is like a metal fan trying to tell me. This is like end of Gen X metal fan trying to tell me how new metal is just as good, just as valid as early 80s thrash and like into like early 90s like groove metal. And I'm going, what? Are you high?
You are trying to tell me what good emo music is, and you do not know what good emo music is. That's not your thing.
No,
that's my thing.
Okay.
Good, bad emo music.
What wave of emo are we talking about? Because I will totally go, okay, once you get past, like, I don't know, what would Few and Far Between be considered? Third wave?
See, I know a bunch of gentlemen in the 80s who wore mascara who would argue with you about what emo is there, Jess.
And I mean, if we're talking about the 90s, you got Sunny Day Real Estate, you got Promise Ring, you got Cursive. I mean, that's the emo that I Jawbox. That's the emo that I knew.
Bob the Sad Clown, Jess, he would be upset with you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Mainstream emo? Can we call it that?
Fucking The Cure, man.
Yeah.
No, you know what it is, honestly? It's, emo just, to me, emo comes out of hardcore because the hardcore guys stopped fucking screaming and they started singing. And the music was pretty much the same. That's first wave emo. That's the birth of emo. That's where emo comes from. Everything else has been an evolution from that point. And it's like, okay, cool. I can accept there's third and fourth wave emo that I'm not into. And yes, the emo that you're referencing, Jess, it's widely now considered in music history for whoever fucking, I don't know how important or official that is. But yeah, that's like the bands you're naming. Yeah, they're legit third wave emo.
That's like 2000s emo. That's around
Screamo. That's what that is.
And see, the emo that I knew in the 2000s were guys that were shifting from more of the almost they kept the hard guitars maybe of emo, but like they almost started going more indie.
Ooh, here's Jess. I got one for you.
Okay.
Is Dashboard Confessional emo to you?
God, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, see, and the bands, like the guys I knew were like, hey, this new guy in Dashboard Confessional, this is a sad motherfucker. Someone needs to give him a hug. Like they were kind of goofing on the like him as like the young guy. Because first of all, the guys I knew that were flat out emo didn't want to be called emo. It's like calling people a hipster in like 2013. It's a good way to start an argument. But it's like, you guys are clearly emo. And you're from Michigan. You're clearly Midwest. You all play Telecasters. You all have weird tunings. You all use capos. You ain't ever met a fucking 3/4 or 6/8 beat. You never fucking did. You wanted to turn down. Yeah. You're emo, guys.
I'm talking like, so definitely Dashboard. Brand new, Taking Back Sunday.
Dashboard.
What about the used?
4,000% the used. AFI. Did I say it? I don't think I said AFI. For sure.
And the guys I knew, they're like the used were their guilty pleasure for their taste in music that's not emo. They're like, we like the used in spite of the fact that the used are douchebags and they suck because they're popular. Same thing with Jimmy Eat World. They loved Jimmy Eat World until Bleed American, aka the one with all the hits on it. They had to change name after 9/11 happened.
I'm suddenly drawing like this massive emo blank.
See, but here's what I'm saying is like this is just backing up what I was saying. The older emos were looking down their nose at this stuff when this stuff was coming out, and the younger emos were looking up to the music that the older emos were making that I knew, but they were also loving this shit. And I was like, it's just the next step in evolution. It's like when metal went from Sabbath to Sunset Strip to Korn, Limp Bizkit. If you're fans of those genres, most people would argue that that's not real metal about the other genres, but everybody else is like, that's all metal. It's just different types of metal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So, I mean, I'm actually backing up your point.
Tony Iommi says you're welcome for all three of them.
Yeah, I know, right? There's a guy named Koolé, Coolea on YouTube, and he's fucking hilarious. And he's like some teenage, well, he's probably like in his 20s. He's probably 20, 21 now. But he's a young guy from somewhere in England. And he just talks about all these obscure and extreme metal and different genres of music, like obscure punk bands, Japanese punk bands who had like warrants for their arrest put out for playing in Japan and shit, like just fascinating stuff like that. If you like any of the stuff we're talking about, go check out his channel because he makes very easily digestible for pretty much anybody videos. They're like 7-8 minutes long. They're edited in a funny way. He has a funny dry delivery, but it's like it covers all these genres and subgenres. And at a certain point, he's just always like, anything metal, he goes, and as usual, let me just get this out the way. It all started with Black Sabbath. I mean, he's like, you can make the argument. Well, he's like, you can make the argument about Blue Cheer with Summertime Blues, but that was, blah, blah, and this and that, or the Who Live at Leeds, but those were proto metal. Real metal that really started it off was Black Sabbath. And it's like, yes, pretty much I think we've all agreed upon that.
Yes.
So
it all grew.
Everything's
from
downstream from Sabbath in metal. Yes. Yeah.
So you said something, Chris, about Ice Nine Kills. And it was that they had like no state, like they didn't interact with the audience at all.
No, there was Hello Detroit and Thank You Detroit, and the whole thing. It was all videos and sound bites in between the songs.
So is that like as someone who has performed? And I mean, I guess this is also
that's a fucking band being up their own ass.
Okay, when I saw Seether, They did not address us at all. They came out, played, and walked off, and there were no sound bites. There was no nothing. They did not say hello. They did not say goodbye.
That is also a band being up its own ass.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and the dude from Seether is, well, you got to understand that, like, Amy Lee wrote the song Call Me When You're Sober about him and made no bones. It was like, this is how big of an asshole he is. Yes.
Okay.
All those whiny ass songs he writes, that's how he is in real life.
Cool. Cool. Okay. That always rubbed me like the wrong way, but I didn't know if I was in the wrong. Like maybe I just had some sort of expectation.
Like, here's the thing. When a band does what Ice Nine Kills does, I always wonder, what are you hiding? Like when they do that shit or when they fucking dress up, like when there's any kind of gimmick, I always wonder, what are you hiding? Like with me, I'll always tell you, with Kiss, it's the fact that they're very average and not that great. That's what they were hiding.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Slipknot, they turned out to be talented. But my guess is they're all fucking ugly. But
Have you seen Corey Taylor? No, the fuck he's not.
There you go. I was about to say, I even know some dudes who I'm like, I think you like Corey Taylor in a way you ain't ready to deal with.
No, he's party.
But yeah, just whenever there's a gimmick with the band, it's
The
like,
generosity of females never ceases to amaze me, ladies and gentlemen.
right? I just always
non-violent.
wonder, why can't you just go up there and play? That's the musician snob in me.
Okay. Now, here's me going to give you, like, this is why you need to understand why someone holds the opinion they do. You just don't accept their opinion at face value, because at face value, I'm going to disagree with Chris, but when I explain what I'm talking about, he's going to be like, oh, well, in that case, yeah, I totally pretty much agree with you. Yeah, I get it. Context matters, people. The band that I went and saw recently is an instrumental band, and the venue I was seeing them at is a max people at that venue, a 300-seat venue. Now, they're a band who plays festivals of 100,000 people, but they're from Chicago and they play here, and they're loyal to this area, and people come out and see them, and they don't dress in costumes, they don't do any of that, but the I guess designated speaker for the band gets up and he's like, hey, thank you for coming out, blah blah blah, here's the deal. Since we don't have a singer, we really don't talk, so unless something happens where I needed to explain something, or, whatever, blah, 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 someone breaks a string, which, of course, happened now that he mentioned it, because it's like you never mention anything bad will happen into the mic, because the music gods are angry and petty, and they will hear you. But, they were just like, so we're just going to play. And, dude, they're an instrumental band. They're not hiding behind anything. Delay pedals and reverb.
Well, that's not a gimmick. If you're an instrumental band, you're just playing.
That's what I'm...
They're not dressed up. You didn't have to put on a clown wig. Hi, we're an instrumental band. Here's what we do. No, fucking a jazz combo don't work the crowd. They just go up there and, hey, how you doing? Boom, jazz.
I mean, from what I understand, sometimes people were like, "Ooh, we wish Miles would really shut up." So, I mean, yeah.
But, I guess with Ice Nine Kills, look at the videos, and here's some movie sound effects. And, fucking one of the songs... they wheeled somebody on who was tied to a fucking office chair and had a fucking bag over his head, and they were mimicking beating on the person, that kind of shit.
They're going full on 70s Alice Cooper.
Trying to be look at us, it's metal performance art. Whatever, just go up there and play.
Chris has little patience for pretentiousness in his metal.
Yeah, dude. Just fucking, yeah, dude. Just go up there and fucking, if you can't go up there and rock out in a fucking black t-shirt and a pair of jeans and speak for yourself, then I want to hear about it. Rich, I think we're hitting on why I wanted nothing to do with hair metal. Get all that bullshit out of here. Why do you got to dress up like a fucking woman? Because it'd be the fact that your songs are all terrible bullshit.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And that's why, I ended up having this weird fucking memory of all these bands who existed back then, but they didn't put on the makeup, like Driving and Crying and the Black Crowes. Everybody knows the Black Crowes now. Well, if you're of a certain age, I assume you at least have heard the name the Black Crowes. But, those bands were coming out in the heyday of hair metal, and not really the Black Crowes though. They weren't, but they were on the same venue. They were same bills as a lot of hair metal bands. So, would you consider them playing to the same audience at least?
Those were more like mainstream rock bands to me. Like I think they were, they were trying to take some of the same audience, but to me they weren't.
Tesla was just a fucking
Tesla was a rock band.
Tesla's got more in common with 38 Special than they do Motley Crue, but their record label wanted them to be like their first album. They wanted them to be like hey, you got to tease your hair and do all this shit, and they were like, all right, whatever. And then the next album, they were like, no, we're going to do it our way.
Yeah, but they stopped doing it. Yeah, and even bands like Queensryche stopped doing it. And and who else? There's a few bands that went, no, that's Skid Row, right? The first album, they all looked like bitches. And that was it. And after that, they didn't.
To bring it back to one of the bands you saw, that's the reason Skid Row had such a change in sound, and not really image so much. Definitely no Hairspray by the second album, and it was like kind of like a little Hairspray still in that first album. Like in that I'll Remember You video, his hair's a little teased. You know what I'm saying? It's not Welcome to the Jungle Axl teased, but it's teased. Yeah. But by the second, Slave to the Grind, no, that shit was gone, and it was because they went on tour and took Pantera as their opening act. And everyone in Skid Row, to their credit, even though I'm not a big Skid Row fan, even though I do think Slave to the Grind has some jams on it, to their credit, they told the truth. They were like, Pantera come out there every night and fucked us in the ass in front of our own crowd. To the point where it was like, we can't follow this.
Dude, I will not turn off some Youth Gone Wild or some Monkey Business. Straight up.
Monkey Business is what was written, and Slave to the Grind was what was written on the tour with Pantera in response to, we have to come up with something that will get our crowd, because the crowd was still chanting Pantera while fucking they're on stage in between their first and second song or whatever. So they were like, yeah, this is bad.
If you've ever seen the Vulgar video, Skid Row's all over that thing, because most of those videos are from when they were on tour with Skid Row.
Well, no, they were boys and shit, but it was just like Pantera was just taking them to school, dude, every night.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Pantera should have been the headliner, and that was basically what fucking Sebastian Bach was getting at. We should have been opening for Pantera,
dude.
So there you go.
It took me back on Friday to the last time I saw Pantera, and just thinking, just Dime and Vinny together. I'll say it again. They were a force of nature. And you don't realize that once you try to see the same band without them. I get it. It's the same songs, but there's no way this is the same. This is not the same chemistry at all.
Anybody who's a parent who has two kids who get into the same thing, like maybe the same sport, but they don't want to be playing the same position, or they're going to get into music, they don't play the same instrument, and they actually get proficient at what they're doing together, that, especially in the music world, they have a connection that nobody else will ever have, because they literally came up and learned their instrument with their brother, who they had such a deep connection with as a sibling. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain to a non-musician, but especially a drummer and a guitar player, they're following each other. But ultimately, you look at Van Halen, Alex is following Eddie. You look at Pantera, Vinny was fucking reacting to what Dime was playing.
Oh, yeah.
Shit like that. That's because they grew up together, and it worked. It worked.
Hell yeah.
Why? Because they grew up together and they were brothers and they knew each other. They had that nonverbal communication, even more so than musicians already have on stage. Musicians can't talk to each other. I know they don't realize this. You ain't mic'd up with an in-ear mic. I mean, I guess maybe rich bands do this these days, but I was never that. You better learn to communicate through eye contact, head nods.
Yep.
Raising of a headstock a little bit, follow me into this. Okay, here we go. You better be very paying attention.
I was lucky enough to have a group of guys who we could do that, and seeing Metallica, they be pissed off at our lead singer. God damn it, you ruined it. Everything comes to everything runs its course. It was getting near the end anyways, but no, I get it, Rich. Like, yeah, there's just if you get a group of musicians that just locks in, there's just you can't explain it to non-musicians. It is definitely the definition of non-verbal communication.
Some of the best jam sessions I ever had were with the musicians I was playing with before I really fucking hung up. Before I lost my desire to keep playing, because I kept playing afterwards, like trying to force my desire to keep playing to come back. But like those musicians, dude. First of all, the bass player was 20 years older than me. Drummer was 10 years older than me. Drummer's my cousin. We didn't grow up together. We're not close or anything, but we knew each other growing up. I mean, we're cousins. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, it was like, I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking great. And when we're in our rehearsal space, and I'm like, let's do something like this. No. Why? Because I ain't dragging my fucking shit. We're old. We're not dragging our shit to no bar. Blah, 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 blah. Because you got to remember, I'm 30, so the oldest guy is 50. And my cousin's 10 years older than me at 40. And these guys are like, I'm not dragging a bunch of fucking equipment to bars and set up to play for fucking 3 people on a Tuesday night. You're going to have to we're going to have to give us some money, and we're going to have to fucking make some money for me to set up my equipment. But still, best musicians I ever played with. What you're talking about, that non-verbal communication, effortless. I was the one having to play catch up instead of the one usually conducting with my group of musicians that I played with. Does that make sense to you, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Jess, are you following any of this on any level?
On a tiny level, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll put a bow on all this because then we can move on to the, then like an hour on the Metallica concert. Move on to the Grammy nominations. But I will say for me, personally, too, this knocked out -1. Like, this knocked out I've seen all of my rock guitar heroes. Well, -2. Well, for starters, we can't reanimate Jimi Hendrix, so that's not happening. But, I got to see Hetfield and Hammett. I've seen Tom Morello. I've seen Kim Thayil. I've seen Jerry Cantrell. I've seen Dimebag Darrell. I feel I've seen Mustaine and Friedman, and I've seen Jimmy Page. So I'd figure at least a personal checklist. I've gotten to see all of my personal rock guitar heroes. Now I got to get my ass to a Guns N' Roses show. I got to go see Mr. Saul Hudson, or you all know him as Slash.
Is that it? You're done after that? That was your entire list?
As far as guys who have actually influenced me personally, yes. Like, as far as people who I cut like my rock chops on, and I definitely play you lots of their catalog. Yes, all of those players, absolutely.
You have to go then. Whenever they come anywhere near you, you have to, right?
I guess. It's so
how can you possibly feel sad about that?
It's so expensive now to go see old bands because they're like, our fans are old now and they have money.
Here's my thing. You're going to see Guns N' Roses. If you want to see Slash, just to see Slash, you could have saw him for pennies on the dollar.
I've seen him. Actually, I saw the Snake Pit.
I was going to say. It was Snake Pit with the Miles Kennedy band or whatever the fuck.
I saw Slash's Blues Ball. It was him going around doing like a bunch of blues covers.
I'd actually been interested in seeing that because I don't like Slash outside of Guns N' Roses. But to be honest with you, I don't like Slash outside of first album and half of the Abuse Your Delusions albums.
Okay. This was when I was in my 20s. I'm still piecing that together. I've seen Velvet Revolver.
Okay. Oh, all right. Have I seen Velvet? I think I've seen Velvet Revolver. God, that's scary. There's like a couple of years where
Like I'm saying, when I was in that band, there's still. I watch football every Sunday with a lot of the dudes that were around then, and every once in a while, this dude says something, and I said that. He's like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "Cool." Sounds like me. Like, I'll still get hit with shit like that. Like, God damn, or like I said that, or I did that. Some of it's funny, some of it's embarrassing.
Well, as long as you don't have a whole lot of, and then he pissed in the closet, and we were about to beat his ass until we realized he was just blacked out drunk on his feet. No idea what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, none of my stories end with, remember when, then we had to come get you from jail.
That's always a good
Yeah, none of the stories involving me ends with me in jail. I always knew when to shut the fuck. I could walk that fine line of being a smart ass, but know when to shut the fuck up. So, yeah.
I never picked anybody up from jail until I was 41. Yeah, my ex-wife. So I had a good run of not picking up anybody from jail.
Oh, more than I'd like to admit. Sorry.
Like, I was not familiar with the process. They're all yelling at me what to do. I'm like, I don't know what to fucking do. Like, my wife's in here. Where do I have to give money? They're like, you got to come back in like a few hours. It was a whole thing. Well, yeah.
I've done it so much. I have had failed attempts at picking people up at jail. Like, people are like, come get me. And I'm like, look here, man. I know how it is. I ain't paying shit. I ain't signing shit. You need a ride. Okay, I'll give you a ride. But I don't fucking think you're going to get me out there and then fucking, I'm 50 short. Let me hold. But no, none of that bullshit. No. And then I get out there and it's some bullshit. And I'm like, man, you got 10 minutes to figure it the fuck out. And I'm turning around driving off. Like, I don't give a fuck. Sit your ass in jail. And like, you wasted my... And to be honest with you, in one case, I swear it was someone just fucking saying shit just so he had something to do. Not giving a fuck. I'm burning gas. I can't afford to drive halfway around Oakland County to fucking try to get his ass out of jail. But whatever. Now do you see why I don't remember a lot about like a couple years? Like what bands did I and did I not see for a couple years in the 2000s? Because holy shit, there was a lot going on. And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Like, for me, yeah, like... 03 to 09, a little fuzzy. still putting that together. Anyway, so yeah, it's a good weekend for me.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Making it to Wednesday is a win in itself, and Dunkin' thinks you deserve a reward. That's why every Wednesday, now through December, Dunkin' Rewards members get a free donut with drink purchase. So whether you like your midweek pick-me-ups oozing with chocolate or filled with jelly, it's on us, because you deserve it. Save time and order ahead on the app with Dunkin' Rewards. Not a member? Join today. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 classic donut per member per Wednesday. Terms and exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Offer ends 12/27/2023.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
We all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once, and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Making it to Wednesday is a win in itself, and Dunkin' thinks you deserve a reward. That's why every Wednesday, now through December, Dunkin' Rewards members get a free donut with drink purchase. So whether you like your midweek pick-me-ups oozing with chocolate or filled with jelly, it's on us, because you deserve it. Save time and order ahead on the app with Dunkin' Rewards. Not a member? Join today. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 classic donut per member per Wednesday. Terms and exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Offer ends 12/27/2023.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
We all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once, and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
So let's keep it in the music realm. The Grammy nominations came out.
Boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, over under on percentage of these artists I've heard of. Someone keep track. Jess, hold on a sec. Get a pencil and a piece of paper, and you don't have to keep their names, but just like artists, if I've heard of them or not.
Actually, I've gone.
Just be like, okay, he hasn't heard of 3 of these 5. You can make 3 marks for not heard of.
I have gone over these songs already here on the Weedsman podcast here on ChristopherMedia.net, and I'm betting Rich over under. Oh, where's it got? Let's see. We'll start with. We only went over record of the year, but let's see. I'm gonna go 7.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna go.
7?
7 people on this list.
I was going to say this. Let's go with Song of the Year, Male and Female Artist of the Year. Or wait a minute, because those don't cover bands, does it? Because it's groups now, because they're their own thing. Whatever. Yeah, okay, fine. However you want to do it. Yeah, that's cool. I'm trying to overcomplicate it.
Let's say Song of the Year is a different thing, and I would have a different.
Yeah. Let's not do that.
Well, Record of the Year, which is I don't understand why. What's the difference between Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year? Well, actually, what's the difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year?
Record is an individual song. Album is a body of work longer than an extended play, so an EP or LP.
Oh, Record of the Year explained. Award to the artist and to the producers, recording engineers, and or mixers and mastering engineers, if other than the artist.
Sure, there's also all that.
So
either that or I was lied to at some point when someone explained it to me, which very well someone could have just been talking out their ass and just told me something just to shut me up when I was a little kid.
Song of the Year is only to the songwriter. There we go. That's the difference between Song of the Year and Record of the Year. Record of the Year is...
okay. I thought you were talking about what's the difference between album and record of the year.
Well,
album of the year is a whole fucking album's worth of work. Record is one song.
Yeah, I think I misspoke. It was more. What's the difference between record of the year and song of the year? So pretty much, record of the year is everybody but the songwriter, and song of the year is the songwriter. Okay. So anyway, the over under. I'm going. I'll take. Jess, you want the under 5 or the over 5?
Over.
All right, we're both taking the over, Rich.
Okay. I'm gonna know over 5. That's some faith. Okay.
The first record of the year nominee is "Worship" by John Baptiste. Do you know who John Baptiste is?
Okay. We're ill-defined here right off the bat. I know the name. That's it. So I would say no. I don't know him well enough to quote a song or even hum a fucking song.
All right, damn it, that was one I was thinking. He was formerly Colbert's band leader. Boy Genius, Not Strong Enough, or Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius, I should say.
No, of them, probably have heard their music and not realized it was them, and so it didn't leave much of an impression on me.
So, but it counts, like you've heard of them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because we're going like if you've heard of them.
Like for me, I like John Baptiste. Yes, I've heard of him, but I couldn't tell you if I've heard any of his music. But Boy Genius, I'm pretty sure I've heard Boy Genius's music, and as I know they're a girl group or mostly girl group. So ironic name, huh? Look at the Zoomers inventing irony.
Yeah, we'll get to them in a little bit. Miley Cyrus.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Victoria Monet.
No.
Yeah, that was on my list of you wouldn't know. Olivia Rodrigo.
Yes.
I say you work with the youngins. I mean this is an automatic. Taylor Swift.
Yes.
And SZA.
That's the center spot in the bingo card.
Yeah.
Free centerfold.
And SZA.
No.
Okay. Heard of 5, not heard of 3.
Before yesterday, I knew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Which 3?
6, 7. I knew 7.
Okay.
He had a radio gig leading into COVID where he was playing like a lot of.
That's how I know Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
And SZA and Billie Eilish.
Scissor's another one where like I know the name. I couldn't tell you if I've heard the music. So no.
I know John Baptiste because I used to watch Colbert before Trump ruined late night television.
Yeah, never watched Colbert. Never really even only watched Jimmy, not Fallon, Kimmel, like maybe the first half of his first season, and then I would only watch if he had someone I wanted to see because I was like, he ain't. There's no shot in hell he's going back to the Man Show type stuff. So I had no interest in Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah,
outside of the Man Show. So yeah, no idea, none.
All right, so let's go to, you said you want album of the year, John Baptiste again, Boy Genius, Miley, Lana Del Rey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Janelle Monáe.
Which one is she of hers is nominated?
Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard?
Oh, okay. No, don't know that song.
Jack Antonoff has his fingers on that one. Janelle Monáe, that's one I've heard the name. I couldn't tell you the music. Olivia Rodrigo.
You, Jess? Do you know any of these people?
I know Olivia Rodrigo.
Okay, well, you can answer too.
Tay-Tay and SZA round out the album nominations.
Yeah, I have no clue who SZA is.
Female. Or wait, didn't they do away with male and female?
I don't know.
I think they might have.
Which means there will be a best overall and a best female category, but no best male. There will be that in 10 years.
Let's see. Best new artist. I have heard of.
Oh God, there's how many nominees are there?
8.
If I know one, I'll be shocked.
I've heard of 3 of these people, and after yesterday, 4. Gracie Abrams, heard of.
I'll take 3. No, I'd be shocked if I know one of them. Go ahead.
Gracie Abrams.
Nope.
Fred again.
Nope.
That was one that I'd heard of. I'd seen the name. Ice Spice. She's in the commercials with. She's in the commercials with Ben Affleck for Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I've heard of her. Yes.
Jelly Roll.
Yes. Okay. There's one I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Coco Jones.
How is he a best new artist and I've known about him for 4 years?
Because I think he started coming up through COVID with the YouTube. I think that's how he started getting his, this could be his first major label or something. I don't know.
Then that means that was just word of mouth and internet buzz, and everybody I knew had at least heard of the man summer 2020.
Yeah, I knew Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Clip that. And then we'll blackmail her family we'll blackmail her with, we'll give this to your family.
Do you think they don't know that I don't know anything?
Oh, but they'll have you admitting it.
That's my favorite.
You can do amazing things with that with AI, is what I'm saying.
My favorite plead is ignorance.
All right, ignorance.
Yeah. How about Coco Jones? Sounds like a talk show host, right? Yeah. Noah Khan or Kahan?
No.
Victoria Monet. Never heard of her till yesterday. And The War and Treaty. That sounds like some emo bullshit.
Jess is furiously Googling them right now.
I am.
Oh, the lead singer's cute. All right, I like this band.
No, that's just how I pick football team.
Fair enough. But I'm just saying, you've evolved past that, a while ago. Because you've been like, have you heard of so and so? Do you like so and so? I do, and I'm like, that person's butt booty ass ugly. So you accepted that beautiful music can be made by ugly people. Some people cannot get past that, and that's their barrier to getting past the shit they're spoon fed as far as fucking music. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I getting too real? Wrong meeting. My bad. Am I getting too real?
I liked Slipknot even before I knew that Corey Taylor was pretty. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no. Hey, look. Believe me. There's a few female artist out there that I've probably over the years given a pass to, I wouldn't have given to a man because I'm like, good. Sheryl Crow being one of them. I forget, like I conveniently forget until it's forced upon me. I'm admitting, but here I am admitting that I remember it voluntarily on the podcast. But I try to forget that she covered Sweet Child of Mine horribly for the Big Daddy soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. This is not great.
And I really try to forget that she did a song with Kid Rock, and this is before Kid Rock had decided that he had to own the libs. And so, like, everybody, that song was everywhere. If you weren't around and you weren't, like, maybe, like, conscious and aware of what was going on in music at that point, you have no idea how big that song was.
Oh, karaoke hosts and hostesses hate that song.
Yep. Yeah, for a reason.
Yeah.
And that was 6 months of it. Poor karaoke. That was 6 months of it for the average Joe in the public. Karaoke hosts have been dealing with it for 22 or 3 years now.
Yeah.
Jesus God.
Dude, I am down to like in like field 11. I'm still. Yeah. Apparently, there's no more male and female in group and all that crap anymore.
See, like an individual artist versus group, that makes sense.
Best solo pop performance, best pop duo group performance, best pop vocal
duo. See, but oh God. Okay, then we need to whatever. I can't have this conversation. They need to define between a group and a band. A group is Wu-Tang Clan is a group. Beatles are a band. If you don't understand the difference, I can't have this conversation.
Queens of the Stone Age.
Not you guys. I'm just saying. Like,
getting best nod for, or getting a nod for best rock album. I'll take that. Means I should give that thing a listen. It is called In Times New Roman.
Queens of the Stone Age it's been 2 decades since they released an album I can sit down and listen to front to back and be like, that was a solid fucking album.
I liked the one that came. I always forget the title of it. It came out. What album is this? It's the one with the vampire on it.
Era Vulgaris or something like that?
No. I mean, that one's all right. That one's them trying to go back to their roots. What fucking album is this? Like Clockwork. That is an all right album. I found that one when I was traveling. Like, that is a decent album.
Well, still, I think the point's been made. Like, you get it that where we're at right now, you made this point whether you meant to make it or not. Where we're at right now, like in pop culture does not give a fuck about people in their mid-40s.
Nope.
For the most part, it's like, we don't care that you exist.
Once you turn 35, you're dead.
And there was never, like, I don't know, it was strange. That didn't use, because you had shit like Jethro Tull winning Best Metal Album over Metallica. And Steely Dan's, I think, last album winning Record of the Year over the Marshall Mathers LP.
Right.
Or whatever the fuck it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where when they asked Eminem, like, how you feel about Steely Dan, when he's like, Steely Dan, the only thing I know about Steely Dan is my mom had a couple of their records. I mean, like, but that shit, I just don't think it doesn't really happen anymore.
I mean, didn't Bonnie Raitt have a moment at last year's Grammys?
Was that last year?
I think it was.
You sure about that? I'm thinking that's more like a decade ago, man.
Oh, man. I can already be here. I'm thinking something was last year and it was a decade ago. Let's type in Bonnie Raitt.
Well, one of us are. Either you aren't or I am. Now I'm starting to question myself.
2023. She won Best Song.
It. Okay. Then I guess, all right. Shit off my own point. There you go.
But that is, God damn it. I hate to say this about an artist like Bonnie Raitt too, but I feel like that's a token, right? Like, we're in like the age of tokenism now, right? Like, when we were young, tokenism was bad. Now it's fucking everywhere.
But see, that's the way I felt with Eric Clapton, the Unplugged album. That's the way I felt with a couple like Santana's Supernatural album. Those were Lifetime Achievement Awards they were getting when they were getting awards for those things. Especially the Unplugged album. What new material did he present on there? Tears in Heaven had already been recorded and released. There was an instrumental that he did on that Unplugged show that he had never recorded before, and his reworking of Layla.
Well, yeah, it's because he put out a version of Layla that adult contemporary radio could play. You could hear it while you were buying your slacks at JCPenney's.
No, sandwiched between that version of Layla, sandwiched between Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and Nelly Furtado, I'm Like a Bird.
Oh, you shopping in 1999?
It was late 2000s.
That's true. Yeah, that'd have been hip if that was happening in '99. That's when Nelly Furtado was first coming out.
By the way, Nelly Furtado, I don't know how I missed it. Homegirl, holy shit, she got some bass in her fucking walk. God damn, that bitch has a prime cut of ass. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
And then I found out she's like 4'11". I'm like, okay, she's a midget. And who's got the fattest asses? Midgets, motherfucker.
Wow.
Did you have to look it up?
No. I had a question for Jess, and there's just no way to segue out of out of midget asses. But I want to ask this question to Jess before I lose it, because you're right about that time, even though... No, 29. But have you started getting to the point? Have you been in the grocery store yet and been like, man, the music in here is really good? They're getting hip in the grocery store.
Don't hurt my feelings with that. Yes, I have. I'm just enjoying it and pretending like they are just catching up with the times instead of I'm becoming irrelevant.
Gotcha. Cool. I'll let you think that then.
Thank you.
No, because that was definitely. I was like, oh no. It was definitely, for me, and I realized it, I was like, oh, shit. They're now playing music in the grocery store for me. Fuck.
You have straight up hurt my feelings.
It's right up there with, I definitely remember the first time I was called sir. I think I was like 23, 24. But yeah, it was some high schooler hitting me up to try to get me to buy him cigarettes. But still, fucking, I remember that shit. I was at the fucking gas station at 15 Mile and Little Mac, getting gas, and some fucking freshman called me sir. God damn it.
Ruined your whole day.
Do you remember the first time someone called you ma'am?
Okay.
So, yes, exactly.
I'm Southern. I'm called ma'am no matter.
No, but
called ma'am as a kid. It's
fine. I'll let you have your denial, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
But now, if you're talking like my parents and older generations down south, my parents and older people who there's pretty much like so the baby boomers now that's all that's left of who I'm talking about. When I was a kid and when I was like up into my 20s, when you went down south, they wouldn't call you sir unless you had a wedding ring on your hand. They called you boy. That's why, like, I don't know if you remember this, but when Biden was campaigning, and someone dug up something about, he referred to somebody in the South as a boy and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, if he's talking to an old fucking Southern Democrat, that's how they talk. It's just and ma'am, shit, they'll call a fucking 3-year-old child ma'am to her face.
That's what I'm saying.
They call, everybody's ma'am. Maybe if they're feeling frisky, little miss if they're really young, or if the little girl balks at ma'am, oh, I'm sorry, okay, little miss, something like that. But yeah, being called ma'am is not that big of a deal for a woman in the South, especially by the older people down south.
It's true.
So a younger teenager coming up to you, first time going, excuse me, ma'am, just didn't shake you, going like, ma'am,
not even
was my mom here?
Not even a little bit.
That's how I felt. Was my dad here? What, sir? You could not mean me. I am 25.
I started going gray at 18, but it started really showing by mid-20s, and by 30, holy shit, I was looking salt and pepper. So depending if I had a hat on or not was whether I got called sir or not. So it kind of became a thing that if I got called sir, I didn't put a hat on before I left the house today. Okay. So I don't know. Yeah, not that big of a deal to me either.
Scene from Scrubs. She called me Mr. So, yeah. But the Grammys of this year, I feel we do this every year. I feel I knew more of them this year than I have in years past. There's been years where I'm like, who? There's been years where I feel I've joked, like you're making shit up. You just got a name generator in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say from 2005 or 6 to 2013, I have huge gaps in my music knowledge. Like if it's not a genre or an artist that I was really into, a lot of shit went over my head. Like that. Oh, what's that fucking song come out in 2009 from the Black Eyed Peas? Like, we're gonna have a good time or whatever, something like that.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
You've got a feeling?
Yes. No, watching a VH1 thing about music in the 2000s in 2013, by the way. Because it was VH1, and VH1 never passed up a chance for instant nostalgia. They were like, blah, 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 2009, this song. And I'm like, really? That was a hit? I've never even heard that song. And my buddy who was watching it with me goes, dude, that song was everywhere. Where the fuck were you? I'm like, not listening to the radio, obviously.
Oh, dude, old white people knew it. That's how big it was.
No idea that song existed till 2013.
Wow.
That's how unplugged from the mainstream. Like, and it wasn't like, ooh, hipster trying to be. A lot of
Did you just,
interesting
not
shit
turn on
happened to me
TV?
starting in 2009.
Well,
yeah. Pretty much. Had cable briefly from the end of 2012 till like almost the end of 2013. Haven't had cable in my name since.
Never near a radio that you didn't control for 4 years?
We didn't listen to the radio at work. Everyone was listening to
at a gas station, like in public. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was pretty ubiquitous.
If I heard that song, it didn't even hit me that it was the Black Eyed Peas.
Like somebody driving by with their music up. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was fucking.
Dude, Lady Gaga, I had no idea what paparazzi or I found out who Lady Gaga was through South Park.
Wow.
That's 2007, 2006 when that shit came out.
Lady Gaga.
Rihanna, Umbrella. I found out who Rihanna was. That, like, I think, like, with the Eminem song. I was like, who's this broad? And they're like, are you serious?
You didn't know who Rihanna was until then?
I knew that song. I didn't know that song was her.
Dude, by then, she was fucking huge.
I didn't know who Sia was until like 2019. And the only reason I do is because a buddy who is, I'm like, bro, you're really into her in a very weird way. Do we need to spend some time on this? Like that type of is all about her. And I was like, who? You don't know who Sia is? I'm like, no, you weirdo. I don't know who. Like, he was the type of dude who would be in the Flyleaf because of their lead singer. So I was like, what, you want to fuck this broad? Does she look like she's 13, you weirdo? And then, he was like, check this out. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is. Never saw it before. Sorry. I don't pay attention. I don't care anymore, dude. Once I figured out that no one cared about my music, I was like, oh, so we're doing this? We're just not giving a fuck about, we're not even going to pretend to give a fuck about shit that like our friends like. Cool. I don't give a fuck what you listen to because y'all listen to garbage. End of discussion with you. Next. That's pretty much how I was for the last 15 years. No, do we talk music, Chris, very often, Chris? Two musicians? I think we talk it very little for two musicians.
Right. Well, no, because we've both stopped looking for new shit.
Both stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, I'll go so far as to say, like, I, like, fell out of love with music. As far as, like, didn't have a connection with music anymore that, like, I used to have. Even, I don't know, I started playing guitar when I was 5. So I was so young, I always remember music being part of my life. And then it just stopped. But, like, it's kind of picked back up again. And it snuck up on me in the last, like, 6-7 months. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, last year or so, I have found myself listening to more music. It's a lot of the same music, but every now and then I do find the newer stuff I've been finding, at least new to me, is electronic stuff. And then I went through last year as a period for a while. I was listening to like a lot of fusion, but again, all old shit. That's shit that's already existed. Just me finding it.
Well, the beauty, how I look at it now, the beauty of it is that anything from the last 20 years is now considered old shit.
Right.
I just spent pretty good chunk of time explaining how I've had my head up my ass as far as music for the last 15 years. So there's a lot of shit I missed where I'm like, whoa. And I'm looking off the beaten path, and I'm not even having to look that hard to find shit that's at least interesting and leading me to shit that I actually like, which is rare. I think, how many times have we heard people say this over the years on the podcast? And we've probably said it ourselves to a certain extent. There's good music out there. You just have to really want to fucking dig through piles of shit and find it. I think in the last 10 years, we've definitely optimized how to find music. Where's your starting point? Okay, you like this band, you like this genre. All right, you can actually go and go online and ask people or fucking get recommendations and shit. Check this out, check that out.
YouTube
Whereas before
Music has a mix called Discover. Like, hey, here's a bunch of shit you don't listen to that we think you'd be into. That based on all the other shit you listen to.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some version of that on any fucking streaming service, especially if you pay for it. Excuse me, but yeah, and for a while there, it's like the internet is finally what people were like, oh man, you're gonna be able to go on there and find whatever the fuck you're looking for as far as music. Yeah, but it had to really get its ass beaten by corporate America and fucking go through the gauntlet and come out the other side. And it's like, now I go to, like, if you want to get music from the artist and you want to support the artist, go to Bandcamp or something. I know there's drama with Bandcamp. I don't know the extent of it, but something like that where the artist is putting their music up themselves. And usually you can even get like vinyl off of them for 75% of what they're charging anyplace else. I mean, like, and the vast majority of the music on like Bandcamp that I've discovered stuff from, it's free. They'll let you stream it. Like, there you go. And a lot of, if they have like EPs, a band has an EP or something, they'll be like, name your price and you can download it and keep it. We don't care. You're actually supporting the musician. So the means are there, and you just have to do a little bit of looking and you can pretty much get the ball rolling. And once the ball gets rolling, once you're in like the ecosystem of one of these like type of music services, and if it's a good one, it's going to keep you engaged and it's going to keep you finding shit that you're going to at least be interested in and give it a shot. Oh yeah, so there you go.
I'm on to
for all the shit we talk about technology, we actually are fucking singing his praises for a change.
Yeah, I'm a good 2 years in now to 2+ years into training my algorithm for my shit. It took a minute to wash the ex-wife out of there, but yeah, now I got my YouTube music curated nicely. There's still things where it comes up. I've told you never to play this. I had to thumbs down something the other day. Oh, it was a Metallica song. It was Until It Sleeps. I was like, never play this ever again. Thumbs down.
It's interesting how fucking exes can really ruin some music for you. Because like I'm sure that, don't you have an ex that pretty much made you despise Typo Negative?
Yes.
There you go. And I'm like, that's the most random band for you to hate. Like, I know there had to be, when she told me that originally, and I think I just mentioned them in passing in some weird way, and she's like, oh, wow, that was a pretty visceral reaction. What's the story behind that?
No black number ones for you?
No.
No Christian woman?
No.
No Jesus Christ looks like me?
No kill all the white people?
White people?
Starset covers Love You to Death, and that even makes me mad. And I love Starset.
There you go. That's the power of associating a bad memory with music.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No. Journey and Steve Perry made a new song together. Good God, no. Looking through my new release mix.
First of all, it's
there is no God. If there is no God, he doesn't exist.
Guys like Steve Perry are like Steve Vai. Yes, we get it. You're good, dude. But Jesus Christ, write a decent song. And both of them are capable of doing it from time to time. I think Steve Vai kind of just blunders into a catchy little fucking little riff. He's no Joe Satriani can really find a fucking catchy riff if he puts his mind to it. Whereas Steve Vai, I think, blunders his way into it. He played with Zappa for too long. He's got too quirky of a sense of melody for the mainstream fucking sensibilities.
Yeah, I like Satch Boogie. That's a good tune.
But if you go back and listen to like Steve Vai's first solo album, Flexible, there's some very Zappa-esque weird shit on there. And then there's almost a Neil Diamond ballad with like a singer doing something. It's like, damn, is that Neil Diamond or somebody trying to do Neil Diamond? This is all Steve Vai's first solo album. Real music nerd shit now. Wow. Sorry. Once again, wrong meeting.
Hey, Jess, you said that you learned something, or you had a thing that you wanted to get a natural reaction out of me and Rich.
This totally does not fit into the podcast of anything we've talked about.
So are we taking a hard left?
It's just something I saw, and then I had to deep dive it because it's a topic we talked about a good bit.
Is it the P flag?
No. Okay, I don't even want to say that anymore after the ads. that I've been getting. Truly. I'm trying to retrain my algorithm over here. So, FBI agent, please scratch that one. White it out. No, it was about the Ocean Gate, the submarine. Y'all remember the whole search, the whole Titanic Ocean Gate search, right? Like that wasn't that long ago that we remember this really clearly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So the whole time this was going on, we knew nothing, right? Just that they were searching and that there might have been some knocking, and that was all I remember, right?
Yes.
So was it ever said in anything that we ever read or that we ever talked about that the submersible was in communication with like the mothership saying that it was in distress, and then at the exact time that they lost contact, that the Coast Guard heard a noise that they described as an underwater implosion? Was that ever said?
Yes.
It was?
It was said after they said that the craft had been lost and it had been lost to whatever, implosion, et cetera, et cetera. I brought it up on the show.
But it was
James, okay, go ahead.
After they did the oxygen countdown and after they did the we don't know. That was like a week after.
Well, what I'm saying, okay, but okay, you didn't let me finish. Now I need to step on what you're saying because now it's just you're talking out your ass. James Cameron got on a podcast and was like, in the fucking deep sea community, whatever community like that he's plugged into because he actually makes documentaries about going down to the Titanic and all that good shit. He's like, it was common knowledge that thing had imploded days before they admitted it. It's just no one was listening to us. We were talking about it. No one cared until the news reported that, oh, well, we're sorry, it had been lost. And, oh, it's crazy. It actually been lost a few days beforehand. That noise that the Coast Guard reported hearing, that was actually it imploding. Sorry. Yeah, James Cameron was like, yeah, but duh, everybody knew. I swear to God, we played the fucking clip on it was like, if not, I sent you guys the clip. It was literally like less than 2 fucking minutes.
Well, I followed that one pretty intensely. I could just not be remembering that, but I saw freaking someone I follow talking about it, and then I went and looked it up, and of course can't find anything. You can never find anything. They stopped talking about this freaking submersible in, like, I think the latest article you could find was July 8th, and just nothing else has been said about it since then. I
do know the Coast Guard sat on, like, they knew that they had heard the implosion, but they sat on it until they confirmed.
And that's what James Cameron was talking about. Basically, these are people who deal with this shit every day, day in, day out. It's life or death for them. They know what they're doing. They know what they're looking for, and they know what certain shit sounds like. They knew they were dead. They couldn't say anything because they couldn't confirm it and go on the record because the process hadn't been followed to confirm it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the leaks had come out. The mainstream media wasn't reporting them.
Okay. Well, I had like I said, I heard that, and I was very. I did not remember that anyone else had said that. I remember like a blip of something about it from the Coast Guard. Of there was a noise, and it could have been something, but it was just described as non-definitive.
Well, I will say is once it came out that the thing was. Once the soap opera was over, that was something that came out after everybody stopped caring. Was, oh yeah, we knew, just we had to confirm. Yeah.
But couldn't they say, like, you know how whenever it goes from a rescue to a recovery? Like, could we not have done that 3 days beforehand instead of having an oxygen countdown on the major news stations?
I mean, I guess to kind of paraphrase what Rich said, there's a process.
No, that was the news. That was the news cashing in on that. I have no doubt about that. There was producers in newsrooms, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, online fucking news outlets, whatever, going, oh God, how can we milk this until we get confirmation one way or the other if they're dead or alive?
Remember there was talks about, we thought we heard a knocking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This was days after the initial implosion. The implosion, excuse it. The initial report of we heard a sound. which was the only sound they would have heard. Period. End of fucking story.
But also, the sound happened at the same time that the thing lost communication.
Yeah.
Like, that in and of itself should be something that is said.
Under investigation. It's an open investigation. Welcome to the world of bureaucratic bullshit.
Well, the other thing, too, you got to think about those people's families. Your family's dead. Like, now they got to, like, confirm it.
Their I get that. I absolutely understand that. But again, rescue to recovery. And, hey, your family might be suffocating, and here's exactly how much longer down to the second they have an oxygen if they're shallow breathing. Enjoy. Like, neither one's more
Well, that one guy's grandkid was like, yo, I'm at the Blink-182 reunion concert. Grandpa would want it this way, or whatever the fuck, or his stepdad, or whatever the fuck. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude. So is this just stuck in your craw? And this is just why you brought it up, or is there
I just saw it today. That was it. I saw that today, and I didn't know that they had been, like, sending distress signals. I didn't know they had been in communication and saying, like, they were trying to come back up.
See, I didn't know any of that.
They apparently were communicating and trying to come back up.
The narrative the whole time was, all of a sudden, they had communication, and then they didn't.
And they heard a noise that coincided with that, but they weren't willing to go on the record as saying that until they had fucking however much confirmation they needed to be confident enough to go on the record.
So good.
But the news media was fucking doing the countdown while they were going through the process of, welcome to Media 101. If it bleeds, it leads, baby.
So, Jess, I guess elaborate on these distress and this whole coming back. Look, what's this?
So let me tell you what this is. It is a whole transcript that got leaked and taken down. Then, of course, the people screenshot and do what they're going to do, and they keep leaking it, and it keeps being pulled down. And what Snopes and other fact checker places have been able to do with this is not call these things false. They've just called them unproven. So that was where I am seeing that they were coming up with they were saying they were trying to come back up, or they were trying to figure out if they were going to come back up, that they were having problems and they were hearing noises, like creaking, cracking noises in the submersible. I want to call it a submarine, but I also want to be accurate. So I guess I can't say completely, but knowing what I know about the internet, if Snopes can't call it false, and they're going to have to say, well, this is just unproven, then I'm going to say that these transcripts were probably, like, actually leaked and we just weren't supposed to see them yet. But that's me. And you do not have to have the same faith in the internet that I have. But as soon as I can find, because I saw this seriously 10 minutes before we started the show. So once I find something to send to you, I will, because I desperately want to deep dive this now. And if it turns out to be completely wrong and false, and they end up saying, like, no, this is all wrong, then I will come back and say, hey, I was duped and my bad.
I mean, it's fair enough. You know what, you just reminded me. We were talking about that 9/11 shit, like when we were talking about the 9/11 stuff, which was probably, my guess, sometime around the anniversary of 9/11. Apparently I had either made assumptions or fallen for something. I don't know however you want to fucking frame it. Fallen for some bad info or whatever about the whole Pentagon missing money thing. And I still say, I'm like, I don't really understand what they're trying to fucking say. They're trying to say that we just misplaced some money, but we only misplaced it on paper. So we didn't really misplace it at all.
I don't think you were wrong about that. They did come out. I saw the video of that. They did come out and say that they were missing so much money. And I mean, they could say it's just on paper, but, like, where else does it? Are you going to present to me the actual dollars? The billions? What are you talking about?
I can't remember the exact details. Now I feel like an idiot. And it would be fucking at least almost 4 months of digging back through the shit in the chat. Good luck on that. Chris sent a link when we were talking about it while we were recording. And I said, I'll look at that link later. And I did, and I was like, oh, okay. And basically what it said was, the Pentagon was like, oh, hey, we're trying to go from, what was it, analog record keeping to digital record keeping. We hadn't gotten around to this part, blah, 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 blah. And the record keeping, there's a gap in it due to what happened on 9/11. And it's like, okay, how is someone heard that and goes, oh, the Pentagon's missing X amount of fucking money. And it's like, okay, yeah, I guess, but not in the way that you're implying it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Oh, God damn it.
and it's like, Chris, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. Then hopefully I'm explaining myself well enough for the listeners to understand what I'm saying.
I think you are.
That's what I took away from the article, and I'm like, okay. And it was basically like, yeah, hey, look, there were people that jumped the gun and were like, oh, look, they're admitting that they're fucking missing money when it happened on 9/11. And really, it was just nothing more than there's a hole in the fucking levels of bureaucracy and bullshit that the government has. But luckily, they were getting ready to change over from an outdated, outmoded way of record keeping to a new one, which is where it's like, oh, that's convenient, but you're not allowed to say that. That's like noticing patterns. You're not allowed to notice things.
Don't
anymore.
ask
You're
questions.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and get excited for next product.
Let me just say, though, I'm on Reuters, right, which is talking about the
You mean Reuters?
Rumsfeld. What did I say?
Reuters.
What'd you
yeah.
say? Reuters?
Reuters.
Probably.
Yeah.
Reuters.
Okay. Reuters? Yes.
Anyway, they say that Rumsfeld did not reveal a $2.3 trillion loss, right? And it goes through the whole article, but the verdict is that it's misleading. Former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld did not reveal that the Pentagon had lost $2.3 trillion the day before the September 11th attacks. The DoD mentioned this number, which reflects transactions that could not be tracked. So, like, we didn't say we lost it. We said that there's transactions that couldn't be tracked. And that's just word lawyering, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't say that to my bank.
Yeah. I can't argue that. I can't argue the shit looks fucking suspect. The shit comes off as whatever, especially when you consider it's the U.S. government's shady fucking ass that we're supposed to take you at your word. Motherfucker, your reputation is rather due, if you will. Okay? So, no. But you better, because 9/11, mom and apple pie in America. So
yeah, no, that it's like you said, that's shady. And it does say that announcement was made or that number was released, whatever, not the day before September 11th, just earlier in the year, or late the year before. I had it pulled up 4 seconds ago. They're throwing out a lot of numbers. But even still, you can't say like, nuh-uh, we didn't say that we lost it. We said we just can't find it. Okay.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
there's a difference between I lost my car and I can't find my car in the parking lot.
Well, kind of.
Lost my car means I'm calling my insurance company. Can't find my car in the parking lot means I need to start looking for whatever letter or numbers by where I park when I go into the mall.
Maybe if I just hang out till the mall closes and just start hitting my remote.
You know, I kind of think back because at one point I actually worked security at a couple different malls around Metro Detroit, and I remember there were just like old people just sitting outside on the benches, just staring off into like the distance, and I remember just thinking, wow, they must have nothing else to do and they're retired, whatever. Now I'm kind of wondering, did they forget where they parked? And they're just like, I gotta wait till everybody leaves, and then there's my car. I kind of truly wonder that now, because
maybe
I might be that prideful and stubborn if the first time I fucking forget where I fucking completely parked my car, to where I'm like, I'm kind of winded because I've walked up and down this goddamn mall 15 times and I do not see my car. Do I call it in as stolen? Shit. Do I involve the police or am I fucking senile? Fuck. God damn it. So I could see some petty ass pride being like, nah, man, you're just gonna park your fat ass right here and wait for fucking everybody to leave, see if your car fucking pops up. See, Chris is either laughing because he's like, yeah, I can see myself doing that first time this shit happens to me, or he's heard stories about it happening to someone he knows.
No, I can see myself doing that when I get older. Fuck it, I'm gonna just wait. I'll find my car.
Especially if you're retired. What the fuck else I got to do?
Yeah.
Have you never just walked around hitting your panic button? Just me.
Well, yeah, but alcohol may have been a factor.
Oh, boy. So, talking to an ex recently, and she was like, so we're talking about driving, and I was like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah, am I driving, blah blah blah, and I was like, well, I never drove drunk. And she goes, okay, first of all, because there was never, you driving if you were drinking was never an option. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? She's like, you would drink enough to where literally you could probably pass the field sobriety test, but if they got you to blow, they would throw you under the jail. There's no chance in hell. It was always, is Rich drinking? Get his keys. Tell him I said to give them to me. And I just, she said, okay, cool. Now I can really drink. That's how I looked at it. So I don't have any of those looking for the cars that I parked and not remembering where they're parked, but I do have brown out to blackout drunk wandering around with this particular ex. She can't remember. And me probably not very happy about that and letting her know about it in a very loud manner. Oh, God.
Ah, yes. Which, by the way, this weekend, I had a good time. Because Monday, all day, I'm like, man, maybe I should quit drinking.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the day after. Especially if I don't do my hangover management routine. Oh, my God. I did not feel like a human being until 1 o'clock on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's your hangover management routine? This is like a girl's space skincare routine.
Liquid IV before bed, and you chase a couple Tylenol with that.
Okay. Not nearly as extensive as I was anticipating.
No, and then if it was really a tough day, you fucking you also do another liquid IV in the morning.
Okay.
And it all leads to you don't feel like hell. You just feel tired. You still want to go home and just go to sleep.
Okay.
Like the head feels fine, and I don't want to I don't want to vomit, and everything doesn't make you nauseous. Like I said, you don't hate life. You don't want to drive your car into the side of the fucking freeway wall on the way to work or anything. But you're still just tired all day. Like even those days, I'm just like, I don't feel like shit, but all I want to do is just go to sleep.
Yeah, that's...
But I did not do that on Monday. Oh, God.
Why? Didn't have liquid IV?
Just because I got home, it was just, I want to go to bed. Blah. No, just sometimes it's just like, it's bedtime.
Man, taking electrolytes will make all the difference.
Oh, it will.
Yes.
All right.
Change your whole life.
So we got.
I'm so fucking glad I don't have to worry about any of that shit anymore.
Yeah, the fact that I'm talking about having a routine like that, right? It even sounds like it's a sign. Okay, man.
I'm just saying, dude, when you drink so heavy to where there's no routine is going to help you. When you count the time in I'm at work and then I can drink, that's when, yeah.
Rich is like, listen here, Rook.
No, I'm just saying, that's when you need to, that's when I'm going to look at you and be like, I have to make a decision how good of a friend I really am. You know what I'm saying? Is it worth fucking possibly pissing you off to tell you the truth? Or fuck it, let you fucking float your liver and let the cards fall where they may.
Oh, I'm just glad we're just back to Sunday this week. It's back to football day.
No, dude, and that would be a hell of a weekend for me in my 20s. Seeing first of all, could you imagine us in our 20s when these bands were around, when we were in our 20s, going and seeing Metallica and Pantera?
Oh, Jesus. Well,
on a Friday and Sunday. That means dude, we'd have either quit our jobs or taken vacation time enough around it to where the party would start, Wednesday when we got off work?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because we'd have Thursday off to get ready.
We definitely wouldn't have worked Friday. I can tell you that. Friday would have been just a party all day.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the minimum you're taking off is you're getting out at 3 on Friday.
Yeah.
That's the latest you can fucking do. And it's like, yo, I will quit. I'll just walk the fuck out. So I can either make a scene or you can let me leave. But I'm not going to be here after 3, and this is all there's to it. Every other day, I'd bend over and I open up my butt cheeks and I give it to you. Not today, Satan. So, no. No means no. But yeah, you got to get out of there about 3, and then, because think about it, dude, you ain't going back to work on Monday after 3 days of partying.
Oh, that was the best part being the boss now. Is halfway through Sunday, my buddy's like, "We're working from home tomorrow." I'm like, "Fucking damn right we are."
Working from home is also like when you're the boss is like basically you don't have to if you don't have to leave the house. That implies you can lay in bed and do whatever you got to fucking do.
Hey, I booked 2 appointments. I wrote 2 contracts. I took all the phone calls that came in. It doesn't sound like
anything you need to be wearing pants to do.
I did my job correct. I was not wearing pants when I did any of these.
See?
But yeah, no, it was and holy shit, 2 drinks with a regular tip at Ford Field, $30.
Seriously?
Yup,
dude.
But at least it was at least the red Solo cup size cup, and they were doing the shots where they fill up the shot, but then they still were leaving the bottle pour while they poured the shot in, so you're at least getting like hefty shots.
I'm trying to think. I think, dude, I went with to the show I went to. I think he said it was like $5 for Sam Adams Oktoberfest, and he said he had 3. It cost him like roughly $20 with tip.
I think the cheapest drink I saw on the menu was $12.50, and that was like a beer, some type of beer.
All right, here, just this is how I used to drink. All right, what you're describing is why I would drink like this. Went to go to fucking because this was at Ford Field, right?
Yes.
Okay. The only Lions game I've been to was at Ford Field, and my wife at the time, she had been to a Lions game at Ford Field. I hadn't. She had an idea of the prices, and she's like, "You can't drink like you want to drink because we can't afford it. So you got to figure something out." I was like, "Right." So the night before, bought 2 cases. Put one in the trunk, and the other one that Sunday morning when we got up at 6:30 in the morning. By 7 o'clock when we were on the road, and we were coming from about 45 minutes away, so we were there and parked by 8, and I sat there and drank a case before we walked into Fort.
Dude, I'm saying we would have been drinking on the way down there. Like we all would have called it. We had roadies or road beers, whichever term we used. No, dude, we'd have done. Oh, yeah, no, it would have been.
This was like that was just me drinking off of that case.
Weed smoke pouring out of the fucking car.
That was my wife at the time. Yes, that was, and that's when we found out that like because we were there. Like, I think there was security guards vehicles there. Like, we were parked as close to Ford Field's entrance as you can get without being in a handicap spot because we were there that early. And it was like, wow, I'm not going to get out and, like, actually tailgate until I see, like, there's enough people doing it. And it took a while, and there's not much of a tailgating scene in Ford Field. Not really. More people popping their trunks and having coolers with booze and drinking that shit. Not really a whole lot of cookouts and shit, at least when I went in 2004. So, yeah. But, yeah, definitely pregame. And I think when we left, I remember this is 2004, so this is, oh, my God, it's almost 20 years ago. That just really hit me. I need to lie down after this show. Okay. The ex-wife was like, I think she's like, we spent $140 and she had 1 drink. So do the math about what you think drinks would cost in there. And like, but we tip well. Because when I want to drink, I want to drink. I don't want to have to wait 20 minutes for the guy to fucking come back or I'll be back. I got another section. Nah, motherfucker. Here's a 5 off of this 1 drink I just bought. Remember that when I got my hand up. Especially if my hand's up and it's empty.
The one Lions game I went to, the tickets were free. My friend who went with me is more of a smoker rather than a drinker, and I still spent $200. And I pre-gamed. I bought like a 1 liter of fucking like Coke or something like dumped like half of it out and poured in like a pint of Jack. So I tried to make my pregame count. And then when I was in there, I only had a couple, but I'm still like, but by the end of the day with parking and everything, it was still like $200. I spent $200 fucking dollars. And like I said, tickets were free and I pre-gamed.
Okay, these tickets that we went with, free. Parking, ridiculous, because we parked, like I said, that close. But we got there early, but then all that guaranteed was an up-close parking spot, which didn't help us getting out, by the way. We didn't think that far ahead. We were more worried about being close to the entrance because oops, I almost dropped a name. Because the ex was like, well, if I got to pee, I want to make sure that I can get in there and pee real quick the minute those doors open. Like, okay, fair enough. But when you leave, that doesn't mean you're going to exit very, very fast, which is why we had the other case in the trunk. So when we left, I was like, hey, I'll pop the trunk. Brought that case in, put it in the back seat. She was like, isn't that just like kind of like, because I think it was a November game. And she was like, isn't that kind of warm? I'm like, yeah, but you know what's a lot warmer? No beer whatsoever. So it was a problem. One thing that saved me is that's a relationship that was like no hard liquor. Because if I did what you did, I'd have been on the news. You'd have been like, oh, what's special with that guy?
I love on the news. Because who knows what it would have been for.
I'm just saying.
Pick a felony. They were all on the table.
Pretty much days that I got into like really bad fist fights at school started off with brown bottle flu. Started off with like, hey, let's drink. And it was like, yeah, hard liquor and me don't go together. See, I don't drink at all anymore, so I can say all this shit. Hard liquor turns me into an asshole and an asshole who wants to fight.
Yeah, like I can't drink Jaeger. I turn into an animal. On Jaeger is on my banned substances list.
Yes, I just avoid pretty much. When I was drinking, I avoided like the last couple of years all hard liquor. I think I can count on one hand how many times I drank hard liquor in the last 5 years I was drinking. Just not a good idea for me. And going to a Lions game, I'm not even a Lions fan, and they were playing the Cardinals, and this was the year that Emmitt Smith was on the Cardinals. So that's when this was. So it was like, I don't give a fuck about nobody here, and fuck Emmitt Smith.
Was that on your T-shirt?
No, but I'm very glad I wasn't drinking hard liquor because yeah, there probably
would have been. Like, I don't give a fuck about nobody here. In the back would have been and fuck Emmitt Smith.
And fuck Emmitt Smith. And you just saw me being fucking let off in handcuffs, looking like Randy from fucking South Park. I thought it was America. Yep, that's a Specs graduate.
And 50-50 on pants still on. Not that you've taken them off. They could be perhaps around your ankles. Perhaps come off in the tussle with the law enforcement officials.
It's amazing how easily you can get undressed when you're fighting off four guys.
Right?
Clip that.
Yeah, I was just saying. You beat me to it. That's a good note to go out on. Unless we got anything else.
Don't think so.
All right.
Nothing.
Cool. See, nice light show this week. No death, destruction, war, and famine. It's all there. It'll still be there. Maybe we'll get to it. Maybe we won't. Who the fuck knows? But go to @GenExhaustedPod on social media. That is where you find us. And you can also find us at ChristopherMedia.net, where there is a PayPal button if you'd like to help us out with a little bit of the commerce. And wherever you listen to the show, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on Apple, whether it's on YouTube Music, we're on all the big places. We're in all the little places too. With whatever modality you choose to listen to us on, has the ability to rate and review. We would appreciate if you could do that because it helps other people find the show. Please, thank you. I appreciate you listening. I'll catch you next week.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Making it to Wednesday is a win in itself, and Dunkin' thinks you deserve a reward. That's why every Wednesday, now through December, Dunkin' Rewards members get a free donut with drink purchase. So whether you like your midweek pick-me-ups oozing with chocolate or filled with jelly, it's on us, because you deserve it. Save time and order ahead on the app with Dunkin' Rewards. Not a member? Join today. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 classic donut per member per Wednesday. Terms and exclusions may apply. Participation may vary. Offer ends 12/27/2023.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
We all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once, and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.